Now, this one ruffles feathers, and I know it does. As soon as I say it, it will. I personally don't look for coaches that make more than 10% of their income on coaching. So let me explain myself. For me, one of the values that I have when I coach people is the fact that I have multiple businesses, and my overwhelming amount of income comes from those businesses, not from my coaching business. And early on, when my income came solely from coaching, you have to understand every bit of advice, everything on my mind at that time was about making money, survival mode. And if you want to learn more about that, go watch one of my videos about the stages of business. When you're in survival mode, you can't give the best advice. You're focused on you, your situation. How are you going to pay the bills? How do you make more money? Even to the point that sometimes I knew I needed to give targeted, hard advice, but I was afraid if I was too forceful with that, or if the advice was too hard to hear, that they would then cancel their coaching agreement with me. So you're questioning everything you're doing based on the income you're receiving in that coaching. The value that I have today, because my income comes from other places, I don't technically need the coaching to survive. I do it because I want to give it the highest level of contribution. But if they canceled with me today, I would be fine. It's not going to impact me much at all in my income. And the second part of that is because I'm running businesses every day, I'm learning from strategy and tactical things that I do in and out every single day that I can then bring as value added items to the coaching client. Some of the best coaches out there have coaches. I always say they need to have been or are where I want to be. Think of it in the sporting world. If you're going to hire a specific position coach, you want them to have either played the game or have coached people who have achieved at the highest level. Not always the highest achievers make the best coaches. So you don't want to necessarily say just because they've been there, they need to be able to transfer what got them there, right? So I'm always looking for people who have a certain level of success or who have helped others achieve that success. When I'm coaching people and then when I'm looking for a coach, those are the things I'm looking for. In fact, some of the best coaches I've ever had in my life and still do, their main source of income has never been coaching. They have achieved a level of success. It seems very, very obvious and sort of self-explanatory, but you have to have had a level of success at some level in the thing you're going to coach. I wouldn't come out and start coaching people on golf because I'm not very good at golf.
This guy sucks.
You're going to be discovered as a fraud very quickly. So you have to have a certain level of success, because if you do it too soon, it will be a distraction to your current business. Now, does that mean you have to be the most successful? No. In fact, you just have to become a positioned person of interest. It's all about the perception of the success you've achieved to the level you've achieved it. Take that success process, take whatever you did to get there, and you need to codify it. You need to break it down into simple steps. So for example, I looked at all the things that I've done over the years in business and how I achieved that success. And I wrote a book about it called 5+1, the 5 business disciplines and the 1 master skill. And it's the 5 T's of thinking, targeting, tracking, timing, team building, and building your community through networking. Because I've codified that, I can now teach to that process. My students understand it, and it's what sets me apart. It could be the 5 steps, the 7 things that I do, create an acronym or a simple step-by-step process. But if you don't codify it and you're just sort of a generalist, you're like this wandering generality, people are not going to be attracted to you as a coach. You need to have an opinion on how to do it, state that opinion, and teach to that opinion. For us, we call it 5+1. That's our model for our coaching process. Then you have to create a few success stories. And so this is why early on, whether it's a product, service, doesn't matter, but especially in coaching, you may even take on some people for either free, which I don't necessarily recommend. So when I started my coaching program, I think I charged like $97 a month, which is laughable today to think about that. But at the time, I didn't have any success stories. So I charged $97 a month, and my whole goal was to create success stories. So I had an example of people who've proven, besides myself, that codified process worked. And then now I could use them, and that was the agreement. Hey, you're locked in at this price forever as long as we coach till I get you to this certain level of success. But in exchange for that, I'm going to mark up that discount to marketing, and what I'm going to need from you is a testimonial. Can we agree to that? And they would, of course, always agree. They loved the opportunity. And then I would work with them through that process. I would get video testimonials, I get written testimonials. And quite frankly, I wrote the testimonials, and I would put them in front of them and say, does this sound like the process we went through? Do you agree with this? Because I wanted it written in a way that spoke to the audience, right? So I wrote those testimonials for them. Most coaches miss this because they may have taken it all the way through those steps, right? They've achieved success. They've now codified that process. They've even helped a few people. Now, how do they grow it in that niche? There's a couple of things to look at, but the 2 most important. Find people in that niche who already have the audience. Build a trusted relationship with them so that you can get in front of that audience and teach your process. And have an event, virtual, in-person, create an event. Have them show up to the event and teach them your best stuff. Teach them all of it. every bit of it. Don't hold any of it back. Give them the best of the best in that event and then offer your coaching. Because here's what I know to be true over experience. You can teach your best stuff. I do full day workshops here. I do 3-day events and I can give all of it away, but people can't take that all and implement it. So they're gonna look to you to help them throughout that process to implement what you're teaching. But if you try to hold back, especially like your best stuff, your secrets, you try to hold those back, they won't see the value of it and they won't join. 15, 16, 18 years ago, something like that, when I started, there was a certain program I wanted to offer. I knew the program, but what I wanted was the contractual agreements to execute that program. And there was a guy who ran a coaching program who did that very process. And in his program, he taught how to do it and offered you the agreements. I signed up for it for this is a long time ago. It's probably like $5,000, which was way more money than I had. I signed up for it because I wanted literally just the agreements. And I learned a whole lot more, but he gave away his best stuff, his secret stuff, and that's why I signed up for that. So to start your coaching business, achieve that level of success, codify the process, create success stories, then do events where you teach your best stuff, and then have an offer to which people can then sign up for your coaching program. If you followed those simple steps to break that down, you are easily going to be able to create a coaching business in any niche. Now, if it's a niche, and we can just create this as like an asterisk, if it's a niche that you have not achieved the level of success, but you believe that you could create success stories, you can follow the same process, but up front, you're gonna really have to get clear on codifying that process and creating success stories, probably 10 to 1 over somebody who's already achieved the success, because you now have to prove that you can teach others how to do it having not done it yourself. It's the same process that I've used over time and trained literally thousands of entrepreneurs across the United States. And this process works for me, it's worked for them, and I've helped other people start their coaching business, and I believe you can do it too. Hey, listen, if you love this video and you want more stuff like this, please subscribe. That would mean a lot to me as I look to not get anything from you, but just to give to you to help you grow your business and help you in your entrepreneurial journey. So stay with me on the next video where I'll help you on that journey.